Hi, good morning everybody. My name is Steven. Okay, today's topic is on 20x your high-performing agile delivery team. So what do you mean by 20x? I'll walk you through a little bit about myself and some background on the things that we have been doing in GovTech, government technology, as well as some the approach and some techniques we use when it comes to scaling and how do you 20x your team. So let's say if you have 10 people now, hopefully after going through this session, you know how to make it 200. 20x. Okay, yeah, a little bit about myself. More than 15 years in tech industry across various verticals. I mainly specialize in e-commerce, low latency, high volume engineering system. Yeah. Okay, so currently I'm with GovTech, government technology. Lead a development team about 50 to 60 people and deliver a couple of digital services which I'll walk you through later on. Other than that, I'm also the Agile coach in GovTech, where I work with the procurement to come up with Agile bulk tender and you know, Agile contracting and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, so I've been with GovTech for about 5 years, and before that I was with UPS, United Parcel, not as a delivery man, but more on LP, linear programming and stuff like this, on operation research. When I joined GovTech 5 years ago, I was employee number 10 in GDS. GDS stands for Government Digital Services. So GovTech is big. It's about 2,000 people spread across the whole of government. So in Singapore government, we have about 100 government agencies, and GovTech is just one of them. It used to be called IDA. So when I joined at the time, I'm employee number 10 in GDS, one of the division in GovTech. At that time it was IDA. And now, after 5 years, we have 4 tribes in GovTech. So I'm one of the tribe lead. I lead the Agile Consulting and Engineering in GovTech. So there's an application infrastructure tribe where they use OpenShift, which you probably heard about it at the keynote, Red Hat, OpenShift, Kubernetes, and yada yada and stuff like that. So they focus on application infrastructure like the PaaS, building a PaaS for government agency to use, Apex or API gateway, and so on and so forth to help application developer or development become a lot more faster. So for me, my tribe is Agile Consulting, which is a lot more on engineering, which is a lot more on agile delivery. And I have another tribe which is called in data science. So they focus a lot more on data-driven or data-focused kind of solutioning or problem solving, like the circle line. Remember that time the circle line, there's a lot of signal fault and stuff like that, and then they crunch the data to figure out which is faulty train. They're out in the news a year ago. So and another tribe which is more focusing on design. So each of these 4 tribes, all these 4 tribes is basically end-to-end. So we have all the capabilities within each tribe to deliver a full-fledged agile delivery. So the differences between these 4 tribes is more on the proportion of specialties in each tribe. Like data science have a lot more data scientists, but they also have designers and developers. Application infrastructure has a lot more of DevOps and system networkers and DBAs and stuff like that. And design tribe is definitely a lot more design researchers and UX, but they also have developers and so on and so forth. And my tribe, we have a lot more software engineers because we do a lot more of the heavy lifting of delivery. Yeah, so we are at One North Sandcrawler building. So we've been there in some of the Agile meetups. So I also host Agile meetup together with Stanley, Agile Singapore committee. So on and off, we will have it there. We have about 200 plus people across the 4 tribes. Each tribe is about 50 to 60 people. Okay, so this this helps to set the context on on how is this, how many people is structured, and a little bit about myself. 5 years ago I joined, and let's talk about some of the things that we have developed, again, set the context, before I go into the how to 20x your team. Okay, you may have used this before. It's called My Responder app. So if you've used this, if you see somebody having a cardiac arrest, you can actually press a button right in the center, at the bottom here. You send your geolocation to the SCDF, and then they will broadcast in like nearby 400-meter radius people who are certified in CPR. So if you go for CPR courses, or even doctors and nurses and stuff like that, you are one of the registered users. So if you use the app, right now I think we have about 30,000. 20,000 registered to CPR on board. So if they happen to be within a 400-meter radius, they will go and help and save the victim who had a cardiac arrest, or someone having fit or stroke and stuff like that. So far, we have saved more than 50 of our lives with this app. So this is one of the things we developed. You can check it out on Facebook. Another one which we developed is called One Service. So if you see a dead bird on the floor, or a fallen log, or anything to do with municipal, so people call it complaint app. So take a picture, geotag it, you send, you route to the right agency. You don't have to care whether it's a NPark, whether it's a park, or is it NEA, or is it in a drain, so you need to call PUB, or is it on the road, you need to call LTA. You don't have to care about it. You just use this app and it will route to the right agency. So these are all the various stuff that our team have developed over the past 5 years. There's a dashboard on, if you look at across the Singapore, like which town council, how many cases, like on average about maybe every minute you have one case, and then how long it takes to be resolved and stuff like that. So we track all this as well. This is govt. This is more innovative stuff where we put up auction. So we call it reverse auction, micro purchase option. So that if you have any freelancer developers who want to help us develop some libraries and stuff like that, we put it here, and you can bid for it. Okay. Another one is business grant portal. So if you run a startup, or you don't have a company, if you need grants or government support to bring your company to overseas, become more productive, buy some typical COTS product and stuff like that, you can come to here as well. So with this, if you log in with your COT pass, you indicate which business, which vertical you are in. It will actually recommend you what are the grants available. You need to fill up just a very small form, simple, user-centric and stuff like that, and then you will route to the right government agency as well. Okay, we also developed the MOM, the WIN system as well for foreign domestic worker. We recently launched this last month. Last month, April, to help people find jobs, especially for those long-term unemployed folks, PMAP workers. So this is very different compared to JobDB, JobStreet, and LinkedIn, because it's used skills-based matching, some AI or NLP in there, and also it has government subsidies. We call wage support subsidies. So if a person is unemployed for more than 3 months and he struggles to find a job, he can come here, and then when he searches, say, software developer, right, and then of course he has his profile to know how many skills match. Okay, percent match. We recommend what are the jobs available, and then you can see there's government support available. So there are government support like CSP available. So if the employer hire him, the government actually subsidizes his salary 30% to 80% over a period of 18 months. This will actually help them get a job, and then provide training grants to them to get and upskill them as well. Other than digital services that are very front-facing citizens and businesses, this is what I talk about, the government paths, right, using OpenShift used by within government agencies. Okay, so use container, Kubernetes and stuff like that. So the top is basically the flow of you check in the code, you will run automated build, and then you will scan your Docker images and stuff like that until deployment. So you do continuous delivery as well. Apex, government API gateway, so that you have a point-to-point. So all in all, these are the list of products which we have developed over the past 5 years. Yeah, we also have like hats on the bottom right. So that is a Hive Agile testing solution. You can check it out as well. Go and search on Medium. So we write blogs pretty regularly. You can find me on Medium and find out more about the products that we have developed. Some of it are actually open for private entities to use, not just for government, because we use open source product and then we contribute back to the open source community as well. Okay, so this sets the stage about what we have done over the past 5 years, and so back to the genesis. So how did we deliver all these digital services over the past 5 years? When I was employee number 10 till now 200. So this is what I mean by 20x your agile delivery team. Okay, Genesis. So I recently written a blog about when it comes to hiring, what are the typical roles you might be interested to look for. You can check that out as well. Based on my experience, one of the hardest part to scale in many regions, not just in Singapore, is hiring. It's very tough, and a lot of time, because in tech there's a lot of buzzwords. So what exactly is a UX designer? So it's a very, very loaded word. How do you unpack it? Right? So this actually helps to unpack it. So if you talk about UX designer, are you talking about a user researcher? Are you talking about a visual designer? Are you talking about interaction designer? Are you talking about content designer, stuff like that? So is it all in one? Are you looking for a unicorn? So what exactly are you looking for? And how do you target the right people? Especially when the labor market is very, very tight and there's a lot of buzzwords thrown around. So the job seekers may not even know exactly what you're looking for. So hopefully this helps to distill a little bit about the various sub-roles, are called sub-roles, which we have. Okay, and of course, once you know what you want, then you go and scout for them, go and hire. Right? So there are basically 3 steps. You scout, you select, you choose, and then you make an offer. Okay, so if you were talking about scouting, so where do you go and find good developers? You need to go to the mountain, because the mountain is where they are, right? Good developers. What do you mean by that? Okay, so if you talk about good developers, what do you mean by really good? Good developers are typically people who spend a lot of their own personal time honing their skills. They are willing to put in a lot more effort to learn, and that's what brings you all here as well, right? Taking time away from work to come here. So you need to go to the mountain, which is where they will gather. So ask yourself, where do these people gather? Do they go to meetup? Do they go to training? Do they go to conference? So these are the areas where they will be. So go to the mountain. So if you just depend on typically job posting and stuff like that on the HR, it's not going to work very well. You can't 20x your team. Maybe 1x, 2x. I don't know. That's how you get very high quality engineers, because these are the people who are willing to spend the time. Offer internship. I find internship a very, very good source of talent as well, because when you have internship about 3 to 6 months internship, this is the best way to test them out, see how good they are, and stuff like that. So offer internship. So we offer internship, tons of internship. For this batch, we have about 15 to 20 interns. All of 15 to 20 interns, we don't offer all of them full-time job. We will choose the best. But that is actually the best way to know how good they are. Alright? Because then the other way is you just have to try your luck. It's about typical interview session. How much can you glean from it compared to 3 to 6 months of working together? And typically, very good engineers, they stand out at school. They already start to shine. You will know when you work with them in the internship. Third, build your own mountain. Okay, so this is a lot harder. All right, not the low-hanging fruit. So after you finish the first 2, you go to mountain. You have good pipeline of interns. You try the third one. Build your own mountain. What do you mean by that? That means you create good branding, or you know, like you offer something unique that other companies don't, and you attract them. For example, Google, Facebook, they don't have challenge about attracting good people, right? Or you have very, very solid engineers like Sao Xiong at the back. I'm sure he won't have problem attracting good engineer too, right? This is why I build your own mountain, right? Takes a lot harder to do this. Maybe it takes about 1 or 2 years to do. Then after when you finish scouting, you want to do selection. How do you select? Again, 3 steps. First, coding challenge. Not because it's the best, but because it's actually the cheapest, fastest way to select the right candidate. Okay. Second, you pair program. That is the best way. You pair program with your candidates on the code base, on the context, on whatever they are supposed to work on, because you know how good they are when you pair program them for half a day to a day. Problem with this approach is it's too costly, and for your teammates, it's very expensive. You can't afford to do this for every single candidate, and therefore you front load the coding challenge to filter off as much as possible. Okay. And then if they pass through the first 2, you go to a team lunch. If you hire somebody that your teammates don't even want to have lunch with that person, you have a problem. So that person ought to be very interesting, you know, get along well with your teammates. So one best way is makan session. That's how human beings have been doing since the tribal days, get around campfire, barbecue, and have lunch. Right, and of course, make an offer you can't refuse. When I say that, I don't mean money, right? Money, maybe, definitely reasonable amount of money, but it's not just that. It's about what he wants. So a lot of time during interview, you try to find out whether this guy is suitable and stuff like that. Yeah, but what about what he wants? Is he the right fit? Try to find out what he wants and offer him something that resonates with his purpose, with his calling. Then you are offering him something that I'll say is a pretty unique selling proposition. For example, some engineers are looking for mentorship. And do you have it? Do you have somebody senior to mentor him? So this could be something you can offer him. Not just money, like I said. Some are more looking for a purpose, make an impact, or like things we develop. It's really more on public goods, technology for public goods. So these are the people we tend to hire because it's something that resonates with him. Okay, after the next step will be delivery. So you have form a team, your first squad. Then you deliver your digital services, your product, usual stuff, 2 pizza teams, small, cross-functional, co-located, self-organizing. This is just motherhood issue. You already know. Second, process. So I always talk about people, process, and tools. Process, be eclectic. So people ask me, what do I do? Is it Scrum? Is it Less? I do everything and I do nothing. All right. So first of all, pick the best, whichever works best in the context. Scrum is great, it's generic enough, but it doesn't have very good technical practices. Complement of XP. XP is great. Is Scrum? XP. It's Less, or I can use a Spotify model, doesn't really matter. We use Spotify model, we use XP, we use Less as well. One thing I like about the Spotify model is well known, its vocabulary well established. That means that you don't really have to explain too much to your teammates on how the team is being organized and in tribe and squads and stuff like that. You can go and Google it, it's out there. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. But we don't follow it strictly. For example, in Spotify, the people report to their chapter lead. Over here, no, we don't. We report to within each squad. So it's a little bit different. Tools, whatever that makes your people happy. You remember, it's people interaction over processes and tools. So you use all kinds of all kinds of product, TeamCity, LSM, doesn't really matter, whichever makes them happy. Because at the end of the day, if you were to hire a very good chef, right? You don't want to dictate what kind of knife he uses, what kind of chopping board he uses, he will quit. Yeah. So if you have a very good engineer, you don't want to do that to him. You want to let him experiment, and it's okay, because he's a good engineer. You want to bring out the best in him, and he wants to bring out the best in himself. You don't want to stifle him with all these standards and stuff like that. If he's smart, he can get things done. All right. Okay, there you go. So this page is about how do you amplify. So you have one squad. So how do you have two? How do you have three? How do you have four? How do you 20x your delivery? These are a couple of techniques and tips that are pretty unique, I would say. You don't really see this everywhere. Earlier on I talked about those stuff you can actually go to Google. It's just typical standard stuff, good practices. This is what we do. I allow the team members to self-selection. So whenever I have a new product delivery, for example, a payment gateway and stuff, I just let everybody know and say, okay, who is passionate about this? Does it resonate with you? And let them decide. So they will, indicate their interest, and then from there I'll probably pick the more senior folks, and then from there I'll say, hey, okay, so you guys will be the lead. You know what? I'm not going to form the team for you and give it to you. You go and form your own team. So these are the people who are interested. You figure out what kind of roles, what kind of skills you need. And you go back to the genesis, which I talk about the roles and responsibility and stuff like that. And they'll go and figure out. So why do you want to do it this way? Because you want to have commitment. So in order to bring out the best in people, there are 2 C's I always look at. 1, competent. 2, conviction. You need both to bring out the best. Any one of them without the other is you will have good product, you won't have great product. And competent is pretty easy to assess because if the person is working with you, you know how good he is. Conviction is hard. How do you know if that person is working on this because he really believes in it, or because he's been asked to do it, or because he thinks it's obligation? You don't know. You won't know. Even if you think you know, it's your interpretation. You can never tell the intent. So the best way is to let them decide. So when you let them decide, have free will, you will be able to figure out who are the people who is most convicted to make it successful. And you will have great product when you have great people. Second point, feedback for improvement over appraisal. So we all know, appraisal is yucky and stuff like that. But what is even better than appraisal is feedback for improvement. So I always have one-on-one with my people. I have 60 over people. I still have one-on-one with them. I still have it. Not same frequency. Some once a month, some 2 months and stuff like that, depending on the need. But I still have one-on-one. And I expect all my leads to have regular one-on-one within their squad as well. The whole intent is to give them feedback to improve themselves. Okay. And they crave for it. The point, peer appraisal over top-down. So when it comes to performance appraisal, people ask me, okay, how do you appraise them? Because it's agile, right? So I said, use peer appraisal. I'll talk more about it later. So what I mean is that you depend on your squad mates and to figure out how good you are, where you are performing at this grade. Are you eligible? Are they going to nominate you for the next round promotion and stuff? And I have 3 guiding principles when it comes to this peer nomination for performance or promotion. First principle is a myth that a responsible, competent, hardworking should be promoted. It's a myth. It's not true. Because you want to avoid Peter's principle. Peter's principle means that if you keep promoting a person, you will promote him to a level of incompetent. Eventually, he can't perform at that level. So no, you shouldn't. You can reward him, giving him increment, you can reward him with bonuses. But not promotion. Promotion is added responsibility. It's not a reward. And you don't want to set a person up for failing just because he's hardworking. 2, you need to be promoted before you take on the additional responsibility. No, because if you do that, if you set the wrong signal or expectation, people don't step up because, okay, I'm at this grade, I'm not at the higher grade, I don't do this kind of work. It's not my responsibility. Then how do you know he's able to perform at a higher responsibility? You won't know. So these are the things that I always stress every year when it comes to promotion, nomination, and all that. So they know if they feel they are ready to be promoted, they ought to perform at a higher level and they will step up automatically. If they don't, I take it as an indication that they are content with current status quo, and it's fine. Because everybody has different aspiration, everybody has different pace. You can't push everybody to run at the same pace. It's okay. 3, just because you're good, you can perform at a high level, but it doesn't mean you're promoted because if you're a badass. Okay? So you're a jerk? No. Alright? Some folks, fantastic, technically strong, blah, 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 but poisonous to the team. No way. So I said to the team, the behavior is bad, don't promote. Because it sends a wrong signal to the rest of the teammates that this is tolerable. Remember, when you scale, there's no way you as a tribe lead or me as a tribe lead can oversee everybody. So all this stage and context needs to be set very, very clearly to them regularly because you always have new hires coming in. Okay, so this is one of the tools I use. It's called Election Runner. You can use it. If your team is small, you can use it for free. If it's more than 20, you probably need to pay it. I think around $10, $15 for every promotion nomination. This is what I use. So you can see these are the various runs I had. I've been using this for past 3-4 years, I think. When I first started employee number 10, the team is a lot smaller. I don't need this. I use sticky notes, Sharpie. It works great. All right, so this is how it works in Sharpie and sticky note. You go to the whiteboard, you draw columns, then you put a various grade, like for example, grade means seniority. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, blah, blah, blah. And then you write everybody's name on one sticky note and you paste it on the respective column. Okay, so it's open, transparent, everybody knows their peers, what grade are there. And then you ask everybody, okay, now you all have X number of votes, each of you all. Okay, write a name of who you think is deserving to be promoted. Just write it there, fold it for your sticky note so nobody can see, drop it in this box. It works if you have 10, 20 people. Beyond that, it's going to be very messy. Yeah. So they do that and then put it in. I run this promotion nomination until I think I hit about 20, 25. Then it's like, okay, this is crazy. It's too manual. I need a more digital, a more electronic approach. Then I use this. It works great. Very simple. All right. Last slide. This is actually the last, saving the best for last. So if you want to find out more, you can look at these books. These are, pretty recommended readings by a lot of tech folks who have been in the industry for long. Especially if you are more on in charge of OD, organization development and stuff like that, or Agile coach. I particularly recommend Peopleware and Slack by Tom DeMarco. Okay, it's good books. Yeah. All right, and that's the end of my talk. If you want to find out more, okay, it's a bit too small. Okay, so this is my contact here. You want to find out more, you can talk to me, you can telegram me. I'm on Medium, I write some stuff. You can approach me there, on LinkedIn, and what have you. I'm done with my talk, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer. Okay?
Perfect.
Perfect.
20 minutes, so if you have any questions.
Yeah?
Now it's
Go ahead. Any? If not, thank you very much for your time. No? Okay, thank you.